A girl walked over my head and gave me the courage to keep living, all because I had turned into a piece of land. Other people either mutated into trees or into steel bars, but I, damn it, turned into a piece of land. Just when I was about to give up and wait for death, a young girl suddenly barged into my territory. Her appearance made me feel for the first time that being land wasn't so bad after all. I stood up again. It was one of humanity's 3 primal desires that gave me the motivation to keep going. At that moment, the girl accidentally fell to the ground, and the monster chasing her caught up. Just as the monster was about to hurt the girl, I took action. First, I made the ground collapse, causing the monster to fall into a pit. Then I brought my hands together, planning to bury them in the earth. Unexpectedly, the monster was so strong that it broke free from my restraints and climbed out of the ground again. Seeing this, I waved my hand, turning the earth into waves that pushed the girl to a safe place, then closed the ground to wrap her safely inside. The 2 monsters charged at me, but they knew nothing of the earth's weight and strength. I withstood their attacks head-on. Then I raised my hand and the 2 monsters were blasted away. Immediately after, a crack opened in the ground, swallowing the 2 monsters in an instant, until the earth closed up into a single seam. Burying you in the earth is my duty as its guardian. After showing off, the girl crawled out from the ground as well. She looked around, probably getting ready to leave. I felt a bit disappointed, thinking she would just leave. After all, no one can perceive my existence. But I really wanted to see it again, to recall that feeling of being human. Just as I was lost in thought, the girl actually came closer. "Excuse me, was it you who saved me? You can see me?" the girl said with a smile. "Actually, I can't really see you, but I feel like I can sense you. You're right here, and it gives me a deep sense of reassurance." At that moment, I saw hope. I hurriedly grabbed the girl's hand. "Can you stay and live here with me?" The girl looked utterly stunned. I quickly said, "My name is Li Chungying. When the mutation happened, I just happened to be passing by here, and I ended up becoming a piece of land. After the other humans mutated, they all lost their minds and attack anyone they see, but I still have my sanity. I can protect you." The more I spoke, the more nervous I became. Actually, all of these are just excuses. The most important thing is, I finally found a reason to keep living, so I have to do everything I can to hold on to that reason. The girl looked flustered. You suddenly said so much to me, it's a bit hard for me to understand all at once. I'll take care of you." "Oh, now that's much easier to understand." And so the girl named Luluo stayed. I held Luluo's hand, ready to find her a shelter, but at that moment, she looked at my hand with concern. "What's wrong with your hand?" I stared at my hand in shock. It was shrinking, as if something was being drained from my body. At that moment, not far away, a patch of ground was home to a purple plant, its roots constantly absorbing nutrients from the soil. Just as I was about to be completely drained, Luluo said she had a way. The next moment, she suddenly stuck 2 of her fingers into my mouth. This is way too sudden. Having a girl my age put something inside me and all that. Wait, I actually recovered. At this moment, Luluo was holding a pellet of fertilizer in her hand. "I'm a student at the nearby agricultural university. I brought some fertilizer with me when I was escaping, and I didn't expect it would actually come in handy. Luluo really is my lucky star, but I barely had 2 seconds to be happy before I started to wither again. This is just a temporary fix, not a real solution. We have to find the source as soon as possible." Not long after, we tracked down the source. In the middle of the grass stood a quiet little tree. I could feel that it was the one absorbing my essence. There's a good chance this was a mutated plant. I reached out and grabbed it, wanting to test its toughness. Sensing danger, it actually pulled itself right out of the ground. Its roots were covered in tumors, and Luluo immediately determined that this was a leguminous plant. The little tree, under attack, fought back against me. The 2 monsters I had just buried in the soil were pulled out by it, and then it began to absorb the energy from their bodies. Suddenly, the little tree let out a doo sound, and a head actually grew out from its bud. At this moment, it turned into a true monster. The little tree demon raised a root and stabbed it toward Luluo. I threw myself in the way to block the attack, turning back to urge Luluo to run. No sooner had I spoken than a fleshy tumor smashed my head, but I still clung to him tightly, determined not to let him take a single step past me. "Go! I told you I would protect you." Luluo clenched his fists, but showed no intention of leaving. However, the tree demon's roots were too many for me to block them all. 4 roots shot toward Luluo. At the critical moment, Luluo threw out 2 bottles of green liquid. The roots wrapped around his waist withered rapidly, and I saw that the green bottle in his hand had 3 characters written on it. "Weed killer. Although I don't really understand mutated monsters, you seem to have strong absorption abilities. Want to try a taste of herbicide? This stuff isn't even diluted." The tree demon's roots kept withering, and before long, only a few remained. The whole plant wilted, letting out pitiful muffled cries and trembling all over. I wondered, has it lost the will to fight? Luluo said, "Looks like Dudu has surrendered. Guess we've already given it a name." Just then, Dudu held up a fruit. It seemed to be saying, "Here, take the fruit, just please don't hurt me anymore." Luluo took the fruit from Dudu, and Dudu immediately looked happy, kneeling before Luluo in a gesture of submission. After that, I saw that whenever Luluo shook the herbicide, Dudu would hand over a fruit. She was like a little devil. Luluo picked up a fruit, trying to determine if it was actually a potato. She took out a small knife, cut off a piece of the fruit, and put it straight into her mouth. "Hey, are you okay? Aren't you afraid of being poisoned?" But Luluo just gave a thumbs up. "It's fine. It's a familiar taste. It's edible." Then, Luluo started to teach Dudu, telling him not to absorb the nutrients from the soil so aggressively. Dudu nodded repeatedly, and I was a bit embarrassed. Just like that, he was tamed. Then, I remembered the scene where he absorbed the monster's energy, so I asked him what he had absorbed. He showed me directly. It was dark speed. The moment I reached out to touch dark speed, it was absorbed into my body, and then I started to hear the voices of the trees around me. Recently sunlight changed, and someone new arrived. Dudu asked, "Is your name Li Chengying? Is dark element tasty?" I scratched my ear. "So this is dark element's effect? I can understand what plants growing on me are saying now." Dudu replied, "Dark speed changed. Our dark speed makes us stronger." Just then, a monster appeared. It lunged at me, but without looking, it was pierced by earth spikes. My power increased, and my control strengthened. After that, I wrapped the monster up and squeezed it to death. Not long after, a ball of energy emerged from the soil and was absorbed into my body. It seems that all monsters contain dark element, and as long as I keep absorbing it, I can keep getting stronger. This way, we can survive better in the apocalypse. Luluo, touching her ample chest, was startled when the monster suddenly appeared just now. Thankfully, it didn't attack her. Then I asked Dudu where the dark speed she just used came from. Dudu looked at the sun and said, "It's light. There's dark speed in the light." Luluo and I were instantly shocked. We hurriedly told him to hide in the shade of the trees. It turns out that mutation doesn't erupt all at once, but has been continuously happening up to now. The dark sun is both the cause of the apocalypse and the energy source for mutants to grow stronger. Not long after, we found a new place to settle. Luluo said excitedly, "Look, there's an undeveloped clearing up ahead." I was carrying a small flower on my back, shuffling along the ground. This is my only way of moving. After some exploration, Luluo decided that this would be the place to build our long-term shelter. At that moment, I noticed a speck of dark speed had landed on him. I quickly removed it and reminded him, "When you're not strictly protected from the sun, don't stray too far from me. I don't want you to become a monster like me by the dark element." Luluo anxiously said, "Don't say that. You're not a monster. To me, you've always been human." Then, Luluo gave me seeds, planning for me to try planting them. I took the seeds and infused them with energy. Soon, they sprouted. This was the accelerated growth power I gained by converting the dark element within me. At that moment, Dudu kept calling me. I asked what was wrong, and he looked at me expectantly. With anticipation, I uttered 3 words. "You support me." The condition I set was, "As long as you listen to me from now on, I'll take care of you." Dudu immediately bowed in submission. Over the next few days, I built a house for Luluo out of earth. And then, using the power granted by dark speed, I cultivated a large vegetable garden. Watching the busy Luluo, I felt very happy. If only I could become human again. Meanwhile, 3 humans were fleeing through the forest, being hunted by a monster covered in scythes. It turned out the 3 people were looking for Luluo. At that moment, the man in the checkered shirt accidentally fell to the ground, and the monster leapt up, ready to kill him. The pink-haired girl nervously covered her mouth, but the scythe stopped just a few centimeters from the man. The monster couldn't move an inch further. That's right, I intervened. The dark side turned its head a full 180 degrees, raised its twin blades, and stabbed them straight into my body. Come on, I'm a delivery person, so of course nothing happened to me. But isn't it a bit rude to step on my head? With a loud bang, I dragged the dark side underground. The 3, still shaken, watched as the earth crawled and then closed up again, their faces full of shock. Suddenly the girl noticed something. Someone was making a fire. He exclaimed excitedly, "It must be a survivor from our school. Maybe it's Luluo." Then the 3 of them walked toward the direction of the smoke, while a small flower was watching this scene. Why let Luluo meet his own kind? Sharing nutrients isn't a very smart decision. Dudu, being a plant, didn't understand human habits. I told him that humans aren't solitary creatures. If given a choice, everyone hopes to live together in unity. Not long after, their wish came true. They met Lumo, and the 2 girls hugged each other excitedly.
What if they fight over nutrients? Not everyone has a relationship like Lulu and I.
So cute. Dudu started acting adorable. I comforted them, saying, "Don't worry, if necessary, I'll step in." At this moment, the 2 girls were already hugging each other. Liu complained. Luckily, Qingwen and Chengzhen were willing to come along. If it were just me, there's no way I could have found you too. The 2 male classmates were also relieved that Luluo survived, and even managed to build a shelter here. But the male classmate named Qingwen stood up and said, "We can't stay hidden in a place like this for long. We still need to get to the civil defense works. Otherwise, we'll all be killed by the dark side." Luluo anxiously asked about the situation outside. Qingwen recalled with a grim expression, "There are monsters everywhere. Toilet monsters, chainsaw men, drill men, all with the same black face, commonly called the dark side. At least half the people have turned into them. They attack normal people, destroy equipment, and social order no longer exists. Most people can only huddle in civil defense shelters, not even daring to go above ground, praying for the army to show up, though no one knows when that will be." After saying this, he grabbed Luluo's hand and said, "It's not safe here either. You need to come with us right away." Qingwen's rough behavior. He accidentally hurt Luluo. Seeing this, I pushed the stone bowl and smashed it against this rough man. Lulu hurried over and stood in front of Luluo, saying, "Qingwen, calm down. You weren't like this before."
You weren't this irritable before. You even hurt Luluo by grabbing him so hard, Liu said.
"Feng Yuan, I risked my life to come out and look for someone, and you still want to scold me? If we keep hesitating like this, sooner or later, we'll die at the hands of the dark side." Chengzhen quickly pushed Qingwen aside and said, "Take her out to calm down." He told Luluo to quickly pack up and get ready to leave. Luluo felt that something was off. Qingwen seemed to have gotten a bit too agitated. As Chengzhen pushed Qingwen outside, he tried to calm her down, then took out a baked potato that Luluo had made and handed it to her. Qingwen took the potato, but she was still complaining discontentedly. Dudu and I watched this scene in silence. Dudu asked me, "Is this how humans interact?" I replied, "Not all of them. You can't generalize. but Dudu got angry and said, "If I had neighbors like that, I'd definitely steal her nutrients. She's even eating my gold nugget right now." I started to feel conflicted. They didn't seem like the kind of companions who could unite and stay together, but they were Luluo's friends, and they had come specifically to rescue Luluo. If they wanted to take Luluo away, should I reveal myself to stop them? Do I have the right to interfere with Luro's choices? Dudu was very puzzled and asked, "Is that really important?" I gave an example saying, "To me, it's more important than your gold nugget." Dudu didn't pursue the topic any further, but instead brought up another question. My gaze froze. "Do you mean?" Meanwhile, in the forest, Chinwen started acting strangely after eating the potatoes. "I just want to save everyone. What did I do wrong? Do I really have to use force?" In the shelter, Liu took out the agricultural drone she had swiped from school. The drone has infrared capabilities. With it leading us back to the civil defense facility, there shouldn't be any problem. But Luluo seemed distracted. Liu looked at Luluo in confusion. What's wrong with Luluo? It feels like there's still something she's worried about. At this moment, Luluo was deeply conflicted inside. Li Chengying only asked me to find out what's going on outside, but now my classmates want to take me away. What should I do? If I leave without saying goodbye, she'll definitely be mad at me. Not long after, Chinwen and the other person returned to the shelter, getting ready to leave. Luluo was still torn about mentioning my existence. Then Chinwen approached, saying, "Since she refuses to leave, I'll just take her by force. If we keep delaying like this, we're just playing with everyone's lives. Or do you just not care even if it gets us all killed?" Lulu immediately stepped in front of Luluo. "Chinwen, are you out of your mind? You don't even have the patience to comfort your friends. Are you really the Chinwen we know? You have no basis for your suspicions, yet all you talk about is death and doom. If you were so scared, why did you even come with us in the first place?" At this moment, Chinwen's face darkened, truly darkened. "Chungjun, let's stick to the plan. I'll deploy the drone for reconnaissance, and you make sure I stay safe." After saying this, he looked at Chinwen again. "Get it together, Chinwen. Don't end up being the one who holds us back." Chinwen silently watched them leave the shelter. Once outside, Liu put on the drone gear and launched the drone. "Alright, first get the drone up and see if the dark side has blocked our way back." However, just as the drone took off, a grappling hook smashed it to pieces. The two of them looked in shock toward the direction of the grappling hook, only to see a figure walking out of the shelter. Luo stared at the person in front of him in shock. "Chinwen, could it be that you—"
"Only by following my orders can you be saved. I'm protecting you. Don't you understand?"
Luo immediately fled from Chinwen's side, then shouted to Liu and the others, "Chinwen has mutated into a dark side. Run!" At this moment, Chinwen had already gone mad. He raised the iron hook in his hand, about to hurl it at Luo, but the building behind him began to collapse. With a thump, Chinwen was crushed underneath. The others were confused, but Liu grabbed Luo's hand and immediately ran away. At that moment, a flying claw shot out from the rubble, aiming straight at Liu. She looked back, her pupils contracting sharply. Just then, I sprang up from the ground and blocked the attack. Yes, but what is it? Suddenly the rope made a contracting sound, and Chinwen rushed out of the mound.
"You still need me. You still need me."
I caught his fist. "This is the first time I've witnessed the process of human alienation firsthand. You seem to be a bit different, Chinwen."
"Who is it?"
"I sensed it. Although you look like dirt, you have a clear will."
"Why are you stopping me? I just want to protect them. What's wrong with that?"
"I can't believe it. Do you really want to protect them? Like me, after your transformation, can you still understand your human identity?" Chinwen said.
"We are classmates. We are friends. That will never change. I want to save them. I can save them."
Some kind of intuition shared by all transformed beings tells me he isn't lying. Since I can get along peacefully with Luo, why can't Chinwen do the same? With that thought, I let go of my hand, but in the next moment, Chinwen's hand suddenly split apart and shot out, piercing straight through Chungjun's body.
"Hey, why? They've already been contaminated by the dark parasite. We have to eliminate the contamination to save them."